Okay, so let's talk about North Korea. It's a country that generates some of the absolute wildest headlines you'll ever see. But how much of it is actually true? In this explainer, we're going to try to cut through all that noise and separate the bizarre myths from the much more serious reality.
I mean, you've definitely seen these stories pop up on your feed, right? Every man in the country forced to get the exact same haircut as the supreme leader, the state media announcing the discovery of a literal unicorn lair. It all sounds way too strange to be true. So the question is it? All right, let's just dive right in and tackle one of the most famous internet rumors about North Korea head on. First up, the haircut myth. So the story goes that every single man is forced by the state to get the Kim Jong-un. But the reality? Well, people who've actually been there and researchers who study this stuff, they all say, nope, it's just not true. Sure, the hairstyles are very conservative, but there's no single mandatory haircut. And those photos you see of barbershop posters with approved styles, they're just suggestions, not government orders. So you have to ask, why do these stories catch on so easily? Well, Chad O'Carroll, the founder of NK News, put it perfectly. He said, critical thinking just goes out the window on North Korea. And it makes sense, right? The country is so sealed off, it's basically a black hole for information. So these wild, sensational stories just rush in to fill that vacuum, often with nobody stopping to check if they're real. And this is a really important point. While it's kind of easy to get caught up debunking the silly stuff, if that's all we focus on, we miss the actual story. And the real story is so much more serious. The truth about state control in North Korea isn't about one weird rule. It's about a complete, systematic web of control that literally governs every single part of a person's life. Yeah, the regime's power isn't built on quirky fashion rules. It's way, way deeper than that. It's built on these mechanisms that are engineered right from the moment a person is born. And at the absolute core of this entire system is something called songbun. You can think of it like a caste system or a social credit score from hell, basically. From the day you're born, you're put into a class based on how loyal your family, and we're talking your parents and grandparents, was to the regime. And this one thing, this songbun, determines your entire life. What job you can get, where you can live, if you can go to university, even how much food you get. It's a cap put on your potential from birth, and there's just no way to escape it. But that system, that inherited fate, is only part of the story. It's held in place by an absolutely terrifying policy, and it all comes down to one single number: 3. It's known as the 3 generations of punishment policy, and the idea behind it is just chilling. It's simple. If you commit a major political crime, you're not the only one who gets punished. Your children and even your grandchildren can be imprisoned right along with you. The policy is literally designed to wipe out an entire family bloodline for the crime of one person. Okay, so with that as the backdrop, let's look at how this insane level of control actually plays out in everyday life. You know, the rules that govern what people see, what they can wear, and where they're allowed to go. First off, the information bubble is total, completely sealed. Every single piece of media is state propaganda. Get this, the TVs they sell are hardwired so you can only get the government channels. You can't even tune to anything else. Forget about the internet as we know it, there's only a state-controlled internet. And doing something as simple as making an international phone call or secretly watching a South Korean movie, that can be enough to get you thrown into a labor camp. So back to the whole appearance thing. While the single haircut is a myth, controlling how people look, oh yeah, that is absolutely real. The state has banned a whole list of things that they see as symbols of a decadent, capitalistic lifestyle. We're talking skinny jeans, mullets, dyed hair, t-shirts with brand names, you name it. They even have state-run youth groups that act like fashion police, patrolling the streets to ensure conformity. And this grip on control extends to the very few outsiders who are allowed to visit. You can't just go backpacking in North Korea. All travel is on a guided tour, and trying to go off on your own is treated as espionage. Your guides take your passport the moment you arrive. You can't go anywhere without them. You have to ask permission to take any pictures. It's not a vacation. It's a completely choreographed performance where you only see exactly what they want you to see. But for North Korean citizens themselves, the most fundamental restriction is on the freedom to leave. And this is brutal. Human rights groups have documented for years that there's a standing shoot-to-kill order for anyone caught trying to escape the country. So what happens if you break these rules? What's the price of defiance? Well, the consequences, They're about as severe as you can possibly imagine. To keep this whole system in place, international organizations have documented just horrific human rights violations. We're talking people being sent to brutal labor camps simply for watching a foreign movie. The state relies on systematic forced labor to keep things running. And when it comes to the justice system, we're talking about torture, people disappearing into prisons without trial, and public executions, all designed to create a culture of absolute fear. The situation is so extreme that the United Nations top human rights official called North Korea a state that does not have any parallel in the contemporary world. Think about that. In a world full of problems, they're saying this place is in a category all on its own. So when you peel back the layers, when you look past the clickbait headlines, you start to see the real story of North Korea. And it's not funny or quirky. It's the grim, sobering reality of a massive, systematic machine of control that completely dominates the lives of 25 million people.
It all kind of makes you wonder, right? When a nation is so completely sealed off, so cut off from the rest of us, is the truth itself the very first casualty?